In a time where there has been a recent demand for a 50% reservation for women, the Dravidar Thalam have came up with a new propaganda on demolish kitchens. Even the feminist organization in India haven't taken up such a radical demand. We have Mr. Kalaignar here. Hello.
Yeah, hi Dipan.
To discuss what is the main notion of this propaganda and how they are going to implement this and how the idea came up to them and what is the historical background to such an propaganda to be developed, right? So, yeah. Hi. So, what is demolish kitchens? How do you analyze it? What is your take on it?
Yeah, so most of the time when we say that demolish kitchen, people think that we are going to break kitchen in every household, which is not exactly. The demand is to for a centuries, like women has been enslaved in the kitchen. We can be termed it as kitchen slaves. It may be not fair enough to call somebody as a slave in kitchen. When we have abolished the slavery for a long back, you know. So this comes from the idea of common kitchen, which has been already established to many other places. Through this propaganda, demolish kitchen, we are demanding several agendas are there, almost more than 12 agendas are there. In that, the first agenda is demanding for a common kitchen. So it is not necessary that we have to demolish kitchen in reality, but whereas to replacing that, we are demanding for a common kitchen. That is the agenda. And for sure we are going to demonstrate by breaking the miniatures or the models of kitchens. That's what we are going to do on the International Labor Day.
Okay, but even what is the implicability of in a country like India, even a well-developed state like Tamil Nadu? It is not a complete urban population, right? The infrastructure has been graded between a well-developed city like Chennai or Coimbatore and developing cities like Tanjavur or whatever. So, and there have been rural district capitals such as Dharmapuri too. So, what will be the implications? Every people are gone. Even when a city like Chennai can easily implement it because they have a need, men and women in a family. In an urban city, have a need to go to the jobs day-to-day routine. But in a city like Dharmapuri, is it feasible?
You see, this idea of common kitchen is already been implemented in many other places. Like you see, there are many, we call it in Tamil, like self-help groups. There are a lot of self-help groups which already established several kind of common kitchens. In Kerala, you can see that in the rural place, even Kudumbashree run the common kitchen. So similarly, in Chennai also there are a lot of places you can see that. You see that in urban place or in a university place, like there are self-help group run canteens are already established. So there is no such thing called feasibility in this because every household is constructed when it is a building as a planned. Any architect or a civil engineer, they plan every building with a kitchen. It is not something rural or something urban. Even in villages you go, there is a place for women that is called kitchen. So this notion from the aspect, we have to realize that the designers also have to change their ideas. So they have to, if they are designing a village, if they are drawing a map of a particular flats, then they have to come up with the common kitchen instead of going for a individual kitchen in every household. Like it is the common idea that we have every household, there is a wife cooking for men or mother cooking for men or a daughter cooking for men or a grandmother cooking for men. This has to change because the laws of Manu or the laws of caste continues today. You see that when the idea of keeping women in kitchen and bed, this has been kind of a draconian law, we can say that, been practiced for centuries. We call it as a casteist Brahminical idea which still exists. So it is not merely a practice to be abolished. It has to be, it has a long history of women being enslaved in the kitchen. So that has to be taken forward.
Okay, but even if it is implicated at a greater level, larger level, so what will be the, what you think, what will be the diversity of the cooks who happen to work in the common kitchen? So they might be all, might be a woman in the working kitchen, and you can't argue that they have been given a good amount of salary for cooking. It will just turn around another way of enslaving women inside the kitchen, right? So what will be the implication, what will be the diversity of such an establishment? What's your take on it?
See, the idea of common kitchen we have to understand. So it's not that only women going to be employed there. Again, you go to any street, per se I'm saying the viewers also, you go to any food street or a place where a lot of hotels are there, you can easily figure out that only men cooking there, because it is a paid job. Only the, even in consideration of GDP or Indian economy, or even in the global level also, you can see that it's a unpaid labor by women. Okay, it's not been calculated, either they have been paid nor they have been calculated. So this situation has to change. So no doubt that men will be also being employed there and supposed to. You see that this idea comes that it has been introduced to India from Russia by Periyar. When he visited Russia, when the communist revolution happened in Russia in the early 20th century, he coming back and translating the communist manifesto for the first time in Tamil, that is the first Indian language the communist manifesto has been translated. And after traveling to several places, he is coming back and saying that why women have to spend a lot of hours in the kitchen. Instead, we can make a common kitchen where people can get their food. It is now already implemented in a way that we have Swiggy and Zomato, we can order anywhere, we can get it easily, right? And I'm sure that it is not that women who is the one preparing for that food in a hotel. Okay. Yeah.
So, but in the present era, there have been demands for 50% reservation for women, and we have seen a certain happening such as women has been openly harassed in Manipur riots, and also been the woman president have not been invited for parliament inauguration just because she's a widow. What is the sudden need for claiming such a demand of demolishing kitchens? What is it? What is the urgent need for such a demand when we are lacking other important? For me, it's important like representation of women in various public sectors. So that's the main thing we have to concern. Why demolishing kitchen being the main notion of this?
Yes, of course, your arguments are valid, and we have now the trend that the first women judge, advocate, doctor, this era is over. Now we have lot of women coming into higher education institution. The states like Tamil Nadu, we have gross enrollment ratio, and enrolling women in science and technology is increasing. But you see, even people being employed into formal and informal sector, been spending hours into their job, come back to home and then they again cook for men. This has been a normal practice. Like I want to share one of my personal story as well. My father and mother used to go, there are daily wages, they engage in the agricultural labors. Like my mother wake up in the early morning, she cook for my father as well, she go with the food, she take the food and go with my father. She also work with my father, and then again while coming back, my mother used to cook, my father used to take rest. She is also going for the same one, and there also the wage difference is there. You see, she's been paid less than my father,
Yes.
whereas he is getting more time as well. So it is not about one individual. Now I'm just sharing my mother's story. It might be, if you see that we have more than 140 crore people now in India, or across the globe, we have 50% of women. Even one out of 140, roughly will be having a 70 crore will be women. So this is not about individual, one icon or one representation. It is about a huge number of people suffering every day. You think that men need 3 time food. Who is cooking in the house? The free labor. This practice has to be abolished. So even nowadays we can see that co-cooking exists. I'm not saying that there are no men is cooking. There are a couple of people start cooking. Even I used to cook, and I used to say my mother, yes, it's time. I'll cook for you. There are this motherhood arguments also there, because it's mother. If wife comes, then obviously I'm not going to cook like that. There are several arguments there. I cannot able to discard that, right? So it exists, yes, true, but there is a need for a change. It's always we welcome man. If man is cooking, then we are always welcoming it. Co-cooking is good approach, needed, much needed, but this idea of kitchen has to be washed away from our history. It has to be kept in the museum as a miniature. So yeah, anyway.
Yeah, but even if arguably when the kitchen systems abolished even by tomorrow itself, what kind of social change is gonna take now?
You see, men have a lot of free time. You see, in a way, going to a educational institution, or going to a tea shop. Somebody is having a social gathering where they are drinking, smoking, and all. No, like politically also, you can see that a lot of men are active because they have enough time, and there is somebody who take care of the household. Not only with the food, even the child rearing, bearing, everything been taken care by someone. So once the kitchen slavery comes to the end, so women gets a space, time, where women can also be part of all other activities. You see, so in the politics, if you're saying that I'm going to give 50% reservation today, and expecting that women has to come into educational institution, to politics, to become an MLA, MP, it's not going to happen independently, immediately. But once the kitchen slavery ends, there comes the real freedom for women is coming in the picture. So people get a chance, women get a chance to come forward. So it is not, even the caste hierarchy is there when a new policy comes or a new trend comes, then those who already enjoyed the monopoly in education and employment will be having the opportunity, like per se Brahmin will be having an opportunity in that as well. So there we need for a proportional representation in all the aspect. That's even in when it comes to the women reservation also, when it is a 50% reservation for women, then we are in that asking for a 50% in that 100% proportional representation we are demanding based on caste.
Demolishing kitchens, is it a metaphor or you want to implicate at the ground level? What's
See, actually, when we demand something, for sure it is must need to be implemented in the grassroots level. That's why we are demanding the government to establish common kitchen in the name of Kalaignar Common Kitchen, and the dining hall to be established in villages as well as in the urban sphere. So this demand is to replace the kitchen in each household. That's what I've been saying, that when an architect or a civil engineer plan for a building, for sure they are establishing a kitchen as well. They are creating a space for that as well. So that has to be stopped. That's why this demand also we begin from the village as well. You see it from 1925 when Periyar left Congress and started the self-respect movement. From that moment till today, whatever the demand made by the anti-caste movements, particularly the Dravidar Thalam and other Dravidian movement, is very practical. And similarly, the Dravidar Thalam's Demolish Kitchen approach, the propaganda, the protest, which we are beginning on the International Labor Day, also has a similar role, that the policy has to be implemented in the grassroots level. It is must needed, and present government, the Dravidian model government led by M.K. Stalin, we have a huge respect for him, and we have a request for him that we are proposing, Dravidar Thalam proposing that him to implement this as a policy in the grassroots level, because it bridges the gender gap in all other aspects. Once women free from kitchen, once we end the kitchen slavery, for sure it's going to reflect in the education and employment, and even in all other science and technology. The contribution of women is going to increase for sure, right? So it is our demand to the government as well. Yeah.
Okay. When Periyar was asked about if a 50% reservation was given to women in public sectors, won't the men oppose such an idea as it is against them? The Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy quietly answered that such kind of reservation will benefit the women, even the mothers and daughters and sisters of the men who are going to oppose it. He just answered that. Yes, I think that's going to be an indirect answer to such a propaganda as well. In a society where we oppose the ideas of caste hierarchical, Brahminical ideas, we should also address how we treat women in our own household. Are they free? Absolutely not. Till now, till this generation, the cooking has been gender jobs which have been allocated to women. I think this initiative, this protest, this propaganda should be a success to abolish such a discriminative jobs in which particularly in a particular household granted to women. I think this propaganda should be a great success. And so thank you for your ideas and about this initiative over here. I hope that's become a huge success, and thank you for participating.
Thank you.